I welcome you again to this amazing YouTube channel. It is Oscar here, and we are continuing with our Python journey. So in the previous video, we looked at how to get started with Python. So we downloaded Visual Studio Code and also downloaded Python. Then we wrote our first 3 lines of Python code, which were print hello world, print Oscar, and print 10. So today we are going to be looking at Python data types and operators. So sit, relax, and let's get started with Python data types and operators. So first of all, I'm going to create a new Python file which we are going to work with for data types and operators, and I'm going to name this file data. I'm going to name it data types and operators.py. Remember, every Python file must have an extension of .py. So another thing is that in order to comment in Python, we use the hashtag. So whatever you write after this hashtag will be recognized as a comment in Python. This means that the Python compiler won't compile this when it is compiling code. It will definitely skip this line of code. So I can comment here and say data types. So I can clear my terminal here. So if I run this code here, nothing will be output because this is definitely a comment and it will be skipped by the compiler. So there are many data types in Python, but first of all we have a data type called strings. So we're going to start with strings. So strings are basically words in Python. So a string in Python is basically a word. For example, when I say print hello, when I say print hello world, hello world is basically a word, and this data type is called a string in Python. So a string in Python is enclosed in quotes. You can either use double quotes or single quotes, depends on what your choice is, but you can either use double or single quotes, it is still the same thing. So I can run this. So a string in Python is enclosed in quotes. In Python, when you're writing any string, you must enclose it in strings. So let me remove these quotes here. You must enclose it in quotes. So let me remove these quotes here so that we run this and see what happens. So if I run this string without quotes, you can see that we get an error in the terminal. So basically, let me maximize the terminal for you to be able to see this error. So this is the error we get in Python. This error, it is pointing at hello world. So basically this error means hello world has not been enclosed in quotes. So meaning in Python, when you are dealing with any string, you must always enclose it in strings, otherwise your code won't run. You definitely get errors. So definitely, if we put back our quotes and we run this again, we shall get hello world. Yeah, so basically this is a string. Hello world is a string. So this is a string. So basically, if you want to print a string, let's say if you want to print a name like John, we also have to enclose it in quotes. So this is another example of a string. So any name of a place, name of a person must be enclosed in quotes. So let me maximize the terminal here so that you can see. So let me run this again here. So basically you can see that hello world and John. So if you want to know the type or the data type you are dealing with in Python, you use a Python function called type. So this type function here, you enclose this data in this function, in the parentheses of this function here. So this will basically print out the data type, which is in this case class. It is class str. So str basically means it is a string in Python. So strings basically are names and words in Python. So let us look at the next data type, and data type is going to be integers. So integers in Python. So an integer is basically a positive or negative whole number in Python. So any number in Python, any whole number in Python, basically like 10, if I say print 10, so 10 is an integer. So I run this, I will get 10 here. So if I want to know the data type of 10, I'll basically add this function of Python called type. So I enclose 10 inside this parenthesis so that I get to know the data type of 10. So here, then I run this. So here it shows class int. So int in Python basically means it is an integer. So I can do the same for a negative number. Let's say I say print here, then I use the type of function in Python. So any function is followed by parentheses, then I have -9 here, then I run this. It will also print out the same thing, that this is a class int, meaning it is an integer in Python. So integers are whole numbers basically, whether negative or positive. So another important data type in Python, it is called float. So a float is this basically a decimal number in Python. Let's say 10.9. So if I say print type 10.9, so 10.9 is a float in Python. So if I run this, I'll get class float. So a float is a decimal number. So this is a float. This is a float. So let me comment also this one, that this is an integer. This is an integer, and we said integers, they are basically whole numbers. Then we looked at float, and we basically say this is a decimal number in Python. So basically these are the three most important data types that you should know as per now. So we are going to look at more data types as we continue with this Python journey, but then as per now, it is important for you to know these three data types, since they are the main data types we shall be working with. So we shall learn about more data types later. So let me move on to Python operations. So I'm done with data types. So I go here, then I will say operations. So the first operation we are going to look at is addition. So if you want to add two numbers in Python, basically say print. If you want to add, let's say 3 and 2, print 3 plus 2. So this will basically output an addition of these two numbers. So if I maximize my terminal here, then I run this, I'll basically get 5. So we are on operations. So adding, so this is an addition. this is addition, this is addition in Python. So you can basically see here in the terminal, let me raise up the terminal, that we have 5 here. Now if I want to subtract 3 minus 2, I'll basically say print 3 minus 2. So this is basically, this is a subtraction in Python. So if I run this, I'll get 1 here, because in Python we subtract using the minus, still the minus symbol. So if I want to multiply in Python, so I will say print 3. So in Python the multiplication symbol is this asterisk up here, times 2. So this asterisk acts as our multiplication symbol in Python. So basically this is multiplication. So if I run this, I'll get 6. So 3 times 2 is 6. So the asterisk is the multiplication symbol in Python. So we are going to look at another operation, which is division. Let's say I want to divide 10 by 2. So it will be like 10. So in Python the division symbol is the slash symbol, 10 divided by 2. And basically I'll say this is division in Python. So if I run this, I'll get 5.0. So I will, when I divide in Python, I will always get a float. But if I don't want to get a float, let's say I want my answer to be an whole number, I'll use what they call the float division. Now the float division works like this. So we are going to divide the same 10 divided by 2, but this time using 2 slashes. So 2 slashes represent a float division in Python. So this is what they call a float division in Python. So this float division basically gives you an whole number after the division. So that's our float division. So we are going to also look at the exponential in Python. So the exponential, let's say I want to get the value of 2 to power 2. So here I will write 2, then 2 asterisks, then 2. And basically this will give me an answer of 4 here in the terminal. So basically if you want to get any power of a number in Python, you get that number, then the 2 asterisks, then the second number will be the power of the other number. So this is the exponential. This is exponential in Python. So we have let us look at the last operation in Python, which is the modular. So the modular in Python is basically getting a remainder over division. Let's say I want to get the remainder over division of 10 by 3. So 10 divided by 3, what remainder do I get? So that is, so if I divide, no, so this for modular, instead of that slash symbol, we use the percentage symbol in order to get only the remainder. So if I divide 10 by 3, let me run this again, I will get a remainder of 1. So modulus is represented by a percentage symbol. So this is called the modulus. This is the modulus in Python. So this is our last operation. So the modulus basically gets the remainder over division. So if I want to get the remainder when 10 is divided by 2, basically that will give me 0, since there is no remainder when 10 is divided by 2. So these are the operations in Python, and we have also looked at the 3 main data types. So this is the end of today's lesson. I continue to thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section, and I will be happy to answer all your questions. So let's meet tomorrow in our next lesson of Python, where we are going to look at more data types and variables in Python. Thank you for watching.